Dan Bilzerian is a joke. When you see him, I want you to point and laugh. See, I don't know Dan Bilzerian. I could give a shit about the guy. Okay, I don't really care about him, but I do care about the fact that he actually influences people. And let me explain. See, the other day I was talking to an acquaintance of mine, and we were talking about a billionaire that he had met who was obsessed with two things. He was obsessed with money and women. And of course, this billionaire had surrounded himself with both money and women, right? And my friend, my acquaintance, was telling me how unhappy this billionaire was, right? How he was living this life, but it was very clear that he was incredibly unhappy, and in point of fact, he was depressed about it, right? And I commiserated, yeah, and of course, and I tried to remember this bearded rich guy who's always with these quote-unquote hot women and these guns, right? And my friend and I couldn't remember the name of the guy, so I had to Google him. Yeah, I Googled bearded rich guy, and Dan Bilzerian's name popped up. Yeah, because Dan Bilzerian is kind of notorious, right? But that wasn't the reason that I did this video. Something else happened. See, I get a lot of fan letters, right? And I try to respond to as many as I can, as a matter of fact. And I'm deeply flattered by these fan letters, right? And there was this young man who wrote me. He said that he was 19 and blah, blah, and he was telling me a little bit about his life and a little bit about his problems. And he said that he wanted to be Dan Bilzerian. And that just set me off. See, it was like one of those karmic intersections. I couldn't remember the name of this man when I was talking to this buddy of mine, and all of a sudden, you know, his name pops up. It sort of like just started circling around in my life. Because not only that, you know, I was like surfing around in the internet, and in one of my recommended videos, it was about this Bilzerian person. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on? So I looked him up. I mean, I'd actually heard about this guy a couple of years ago and then just forgotten about him because I couldn't give a shit about such a man. And I looked him up now and did a little bit of research about it. Man, I realized the guy is a fucking loser. Yeah, because he's failed at everything he's attempted to do. See? He's got this huge internet presence on Instagram and Facebook, neither of which I'm on, as a matter of fact. He's also got a YouTube channel that seems minor and inconsequential. You know, in general, he's all over social media, and what does he portray himself as? He portrays himself as a success. He is basically lifting himself up and showing off to people how successful he is, what a great life he's living, how young men, should try to emulate him. But see, he's not a success. No, not by any metric is he a success. Because what is a success? Success means that you aim for something and you achieve it, okay? It can be very humble. You know, you aim to get a good grade on calculus or whatever the fuck, or it could be a grand ambition. You know, you aim to conquer the world or whatever, right? But success is achieving your goal, right? And this man Bilzerian has not achieved any goal, not even a one. By his own admission, he has failed at high school. I mean, come on, even retards can graduate from high school, right? He failed at high school, he failed at being a Navy SEAL, he failed at everything, apparently, except making money, apparently. He seems to be making a lot of money. He seems very rich, right? So he must be a success, right? Wrong. The guy inherited his money. Yeah, he's a trust fund baby. He's a trust fund baby with many millions of dollars from his parents, who, by the way, his father, Paul Bilzerian, is a man, a convicted felon who's been to prison twice for financial crimes. So potentially, I mean, I don't want to say this, but it looks, from appearance's sake, that if he's living off a trust fund, one has to question, where did the money to fund these trust funds come from? Did they come from any illicit or illegal activity? We don't know. But see, what we do know is that, you know, Dan Bilzerian did not earn this money. His own man did. Either by hook or by crook, we don't know. But Dan Bilzerian had nothing to do with the money that he has. He also claims to be a professional poker player. and that he's earned a lot of money by being a professional poker player. But a lot of people who like are into that and YouTube channels and what have you, I mean, I skimmed around and it seemed that he's a lousy poker player. Yeah. And you know, the vibe is that not many people actually believe that he has been a successful poker player. Most of the people who follow poker, I myself do not, but most of those who do and who have made videos about him, you know, clearly question whether he is an actual success as a poker player. And the thing that chaps my ass the most, okay, the thing that I find just so despicable is that he surrounds himself with beautiful women. Well, they're not very beautiful, to tell you the truth. I mean, they're actually kind of trashy, but that's not the point. You see, the women he surrounds himself, that he shows all these Instagram pictures of with, right? These women who are all dressed up and glammed up, well, they're whores. They are prostitutes. He pays them to be with him. I mean, basically, he's a John, right? A prostitute's customer is called a John. Look it up. He's a John, and he's showing off the fact that he's a John. He's not showing off the fact that he's a pimp. I mean, like Hugh Hefner, he was a pimp, right? A highfalutin pimp, right? And it was not a direct transactional pimpage, as it were. I mean, it wasn't that he was paying the Playboy bunnies to prostitute themselves. What he was a pimp, and that's fine, okay? But being a John, being the guy who pays women to be with him, and to celebrate yourself as such, to be proud of the fact that you surrounded yourself with prostitutes, to be proud of the fact that you had to pay women to be with you. What the fuck? You know, the women I've had, right, I convinced them to be with me. You know, I sweet talked them. Yeah, and that's how I got them. Everybody from one night stand to my wife. Yeah. I, sweet talked them. Sometimes I bullshitted them, but I didn't pay them. Or let me rephrase that. See, I am not going to brag about being with a woman that I had to pay. Now will I? Yeah, because a woman that I paid to fuck, she's just a whore. She's just a prostitute. And I myself don't have a problem with prostitution, okay? You want to hire a hooker for sex? It's perfectly fine. It's your business, your life, right? But see, I'm not going to brag about the hot prostitute that I got. That would be stupid now, wouldn't it? So Dan Bilzerian is bragging about the riches that he didn't earn. He's bragging about the women he didn't get on his own, but rather paid for, right? And he's showing these exotic locations, which, sure, of course, it requires a great deal of money to go to these expensive locations, in the Caribbean and in the snow and here, there, everywhere. Sure, you need a lot of money for that, but he didn't earn the money. He didn't earn the women. It's just a facade. And he is basically saying that young men, perhaps a young man like you, should emulate that, should be like that. I'm here to tell you, never be like Dan Bilzerian, ever. Whatever he's doing, whatever he is encouraging you to do, you turn 180 degrees and go in the opposite direction. Because the man is the epitome of the loser. I know this young man. And he is slightly mentally retarded. I mean that actually. He's got, I don't know how many IQ points he has, but he's slow. This boy that I met here in Ukraine, as a matter of fact, he works at a motorcycle repair shop. I had to take in the bike to do a minor repair, no biggie. And nice boy, nice boy, hardworking boy. And he has got this job at this motorcycle repair shop, and he is a hardworking young man. And, that's the best that he can do because he is so, unfortunately, a limited young man. But see, he is somebody to emulate. Yeah, because he's got this job, and it's a humble job. But it's the best that he can do, and he's working hard. I saw him there, and he was cleaning up and doing this and that, and he took pride in his work. And the few things that he will have in his life, because let's not kid ourselves, he's not going to have a fantastic life. He's never going to go to Necker Island and be surrounded by, scantily clad women. No. But the few things that he has in his life, he will have earned. They're his. They're truly his. And And the affection and love that he inspires in the people around him will be genuine, will be because of who he is, not because of how much money he's tossing their way. You see what I'm saying? The life of this young man that I described to you is infinitely better than Dan Bilzerian's life. Yeah, because Dan Bilzerian will have a much more interesting life insofar as just be filled with toys and interesting experiences and luxury getaways. And sure, that's good. I'm not going to deny it. Of course it's good. And he's probably going to fuck a lot of whores. Sure. You know, and that's going to be great. But see, it reminds me back to the beginning of this video when I was telling you about this buddy of mine who had met this billionaire who had filled his life with the bitches and Benjamins lifestyle. The bitches and Benjamins lifestyle sounded great. Money and women. What could be better? But my friend was telling me how depressed this billionaire was. How was this like stench, this cloud, a black cloud of unhappiness. Because ultimately this billionaire, rich as he was, I mean, he was a billionaire and he was an acknowledged billionaire, not a pseudo-billionaire, right? Rich as he was, he knew that he had nothing concrete and solid in his life. He hadn't achieved anything. He had a lot of money and he had a lot of women around, but something that would endure. He had nothing that would endure. More to the point, he didn't have anybody who would truly miss him when he's gone. See? And that's ultimately the thing that gives you your life meaning. Okay? And people say it all the time. People say that, oh, it's the love you inspire and all this bullshit. And then they say that a lot, but you know, the fact of the matter is, cliches like that are true. See? It really is the case that the people who genuinely miss you when you're gone, that's the only thing of value that you will leave behind. See? And you have to aim for that. And not the life of somebody like Dan Bilzerian, who, first of all, he didn't earn anything he has. And secondly, nobody will give a shit once he's gone because he hasn't built anything. Nothing that he has is real. It's all a facade. And so I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that, see, don't be taken in by that facade. You see some rich guy on a yacht with a bunch of naked girls, right? Yeah, it's fun. I'm not going to say it's not, okay? It's fun for a long weekend, maybe a couple of weeks, but after that, it starts to eat away at your soul because there's nothing. There's nothing at all. And that's not what you should be aiming your life for. See? You should be aiming it for something with meaning. Meaning to you and meaning to the people who love you and whom you love. Huh? Don't fall into the trap of being a Dan Bilzerian. Because being a Dan Bilzerian is being a joke. Being a Dan Bilzerian is being a John living off the money that somebody else earned and thinking that he's so cool when in point of fact everyone who sees him laughs.